Hi guys, welcome back to the Car Boutique's detailing channel. So what are we looking at today? Car bombs, car deodorizers, sanitizers and all that kind of stuff. So the four we're going to be looking at today are Meguiar's whole car air refreshener, Autoglym's aircon sanitizer, Turtle Wax ODOR-X, and Bilt Hamber Laboratories aircon bomb. So let's cue the intro.
So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to say before we start looking into these four aircon bomb-esque type products is this is not the shortcut way of sort of deodorizing and cleaning the interior of your car and your ventilation system. It's not a shortcut, it's an additional step. So if we're looking to eliminate smells, specific smells like smoke, you know, if someone's been sick or had an accident in the car and all that kind of stuff, you're still going to need to go through the full process of hoovering your footwells and your seats, hoovering your car mats, and then because that smell is emanated internally, you're going to wipe down all your internal surfaces exactly the same as what you would do if you're cleaning the side of your car. So you're looking at doing your windows and also all the dashboard as well, exactly the same, okay, because these will have a purpose, but if you don't eliminate the cause of the smell, it will come back over time, okay, so that is very, very important. Do not see these as a shortcut stop, okay. They might be a very short-term solution for masking smells and getting rid of some stuff, okay, but do it properly. Fully disinfect your car, literally all surfaces. If you're used to using an ozone generator like we are, okay, it's exactly the same process, and I'll show you some tips when you release these bombs to maximize the effect, okay. So carpets, foot mats, dashboards, windows, open everything, okay, to make sure that all the surfaces are disinfected as best you can. And if it's a smell emanating from carpets and your actual upholstery, you might need to get the wet vacs out, okay, and do a deep sort of deep clean on your mats and materials and all that kind of stuff, okay. So top tip, make sure you don't bypass that important stage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these four products into sort of two distinct groups, two pairs. The reason will become clear. Now the Autoglym aircon and the aircon sanitizer and the Bilt Hamber aircon bomb are basically sanitizers. So they claim to be antibacterial and antiviral. Okay, so that is their specific sort of purpose, not so much necessarily on the smell. Okay, so these are internal interior cleaners, getting through your ventilation system, your aircon system, and all the upholstery, essentially everything that they touch. The Meguiars and the Turtle Wax, okay, don't make those claims, all right. They the focus seems to be on eliminating odor and replacing it with a nice smell. So you can see why I've paired them accordingly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the descriptions, okay, sort of see what they do. Then we'll look at some top tips, how you can maximise the most of it. We're going to pop one of these. I'm not going to pop all four because essentially the process is pretty much the same. The timings might change a little bit because I don't want to waste all four. And then we'll come to some kind of conclusion summary at the end, whereby I will sort of give my opinion as to when to use these and for what purpose. Okay, the first one I'm going to look at is the Autoglym. All right, which is the most expensive, retailing for around about £16. Okay, but it sort of professes to do quite a lot. All right, so it's aircon sanitizer, kills bacteria and viruses that cause bad odors. All right, so how can they make that claim? Well, looking into it, okay, it's got a couple of European standards attached to it. So it's got EN1276, which proves it's antibacterial, and also EN14476, which proves it's an antiviral. Okay, so it comes with good credentials, and this product has been assessed by the European Standards Agency, and it's been had the labels of these attached. Okay, so it's been proven to be antibacterial, antiviral. Says it claims to, I'm reading off my notes, it's quite a lot, 99.99% of bacteria and envelope viruses, including coronavirus and flu. Okay, but it's a bit more expensive. No sort of real sort of forced selling for the smell itself, so I think this one, the emphasis is going to be on this antibacterial, antiviral, the sanitising side of it. Okay, so £16 as of January 2022. That's an Autoglym Aircon sanitizer. All right, and they're all the same. They're all one shots. Okay, you just click it and press it and then let it go. This one has 150 millilitres in. The thing I like about this one is when you put it in your car, it's got a little sort of tilt mechanism which keeps that secure and points at 45 degrees, and we'll look at that a bit later. So that's the Autoglym Anti-Con Sanitizer. Okay, the next one we'll look at is Bilt Hamber Laboratories Aircon Bomb Antimicrobial Aircon Deodorant. So one-shot treatment to deodorize and neutralize bacteria, kills and prevents mold and fungi which cause unpleasant odors. Virucidal against envelope viruses. Okay, so this one sort of professes to do the same, that antibacterial, antiviral. So no European standards mentioned on this. So I suppose you're taking a leap of faith in this one. You're trusting Bilt Hamber as a reputable brand, okay, to sort of have the confidence that it is going to do what it says it does. And looking at the range so far, I would have no reasons to doubt that. Okay, but unlike the Autoglym, it's got no label of European standard attached to it. All right, and indeed there's no real way of proving this unless you took swab tests at the start, used it, and took a swab test afterwards. Okay, we're not going down those roads. And there are standards to adhere to. Okay, and these Autoglym and Bilt Hamber are reputable brands, and I feel confident to believe them. Okay, doing that. Okay, there will be an associated swell with this. It says contains fragrance. Okay, so we'll talk about that a bit later. So £10 for the Bilt Hamber. Okay, moving on to number 3, the Turtle Wax ODOR-X. Okay, so this one is £6, so a lot cheaper and only 100 millilitres. So you're getting a third less for £6. Okay, now reading this, seeks and destroys odours for up to 30 days. I'll come back to these claims of lasts for weeks, 30 days in a bit, because we've tried all these. This is the second lot I've purchased. The first lot was to get to know the products. This one is for this video. Okay, so what does it say? It says odour eliminator, whole car fogger, seeks and destroys odour at a molecular level for things like fabrics, carpets, headliners, vent system. Okay, so no sort of claims for antibacterial and antiviral. All right, the main sort of emphasis on this one, like the name suggests, ODOR-X, is going to eliminate odours. Okay, and replace it hopefully with a nice scent. In this case, we've got the Kinetic New Car scent. Okay, so £6, that's a Turtle Wax offering. Okay, the last one I've actually been using a long time, the Meguiar's whole car air refreshener odour eliminator mist. Permanent odour elimination, finds odours wherever they are, easy one-time use. Okay, so I can tell you this one's slightly more expensive, £14. You're getting 150 millilitres. Okay, removes odours and replaces odour with a pleasant smell. That's what it says. So sort of puts my sort of my bit of a caution up there. Finds it and replaces it. All right, so the suggestion to me potentially is this is just masking the smell. Okay, now is it removing the smell and replacing it with a new one, or is it just offering a stronger smell so you smell this as opposed to the original source of the smell? Okay, so we'll look into that. Okay, and I'll get back to you on that one as well. Bad odors through chemical bonding and at a molecular level, claims last for weeks. All right, and sort of targets things like smoke and wet sort of dog smell. Right. I'm always cautious when it says eliminate smoke smells, okay, because I personally have found to date the only thing that really has a fine chance is for you to sanitise the entirety of your car and use an ozone machine. Instead, we're going to be reviewing an ozone machine in a few days. We've been using one for the last 6 months, and lots to say on that one, so that's going to be quite a chunky review. Okay, so yeah, the emphasis on this one seems to be about the smell. Okay, removing the offensive smell and replacing it with a nice smell. Okay, so that's £14 for the Meguiar.
Okay, so before I show you some top tips how to maximise the use of this, a quick talk about what these one-shot items are. So they're essentially all the same in terms of their operation. All right, so I'm going to be using a test. I'm going to be using the Bilt Hamber one. One shot, all that means is they're one shot. You're going to use them once. Okay, once you press this clip down, it's going to start ejecting all the chemical, and there's a little clip in there which will lock it in position. So once you depress that, it's going. You're not going to be able to stop it. All right. Now, top tip with all of these: thoroughly shake them. All right. I forgot to shake. I think it was a Bilt Hamber one, and the pressure it comes out is greatly reduced, and it comes out almost and makes a bit of a mess. And I'll come back to the potential issue of liquids going on to your dash and all that kind of stuff. We're going to incorporate that into our testing. So spend at least a minute thoroughly shaking whichever product you're using. All right, you'll get more output from it at a higher pressure, and it'll dissipate further in your car and get into all the nooks and crannies and all that kind of stuff. So all of them are exactly the same. They've all got this one shot clip. Okay, exactly the same. They all operate the same. Now I'm going to be testing the Bilt Hamber one. All right, read the instructions. There might be some finite differences in terms of timings. One of these has got 100 millilitres, so in terms of the prep work, it might be slightly different. I'm going to show you how I set up the car initially before I've even started the engine and set up all the aircon and all that kind of stuff. So let's have a quick look inside as to what I've done. Okay, so before we even started the engine, a couple of top tips. All right, you want the gas to go everywhere, okay, everywhere that potentially has lingering smells, because all smell does is it attaches itself to upholstery and sort of hard surfaces. So a couple of top tips: opening glove compartments. Okay, put your visor down. Okay, you don't want the visor closed and the gas not getting access to the actual upholstery. If you've got material floor mats, curl them up, okay, so the gas can get in and hit all the car mats as well as the actual floor. All right, and just basically open all the cavities in your car to enable the gas to get in. If you've got a car where the rear seats, okay, can go down, put one of the seats down slightly so the gas can get into the boot as well. All right, so you want to be thinking, I want this gas to get everywhere, so open everything up. Okay, so that's sort of prep number one. We're now going to go on to sort of activating it and the normal steps, okay, in terms of aircon setup. Okay guys, now all four of these suggest putting it in the footwell with the seat right back. Now I've heard on some forums that people are complaining about liquid coming out and damaging sort of trim and upholstery. So as part of this test, I've put some blue paper here that if it gets any liquid on, it will show. So there's some on the actual seat, there's some underneath the glove compartment, and I've even put one up in the ceiling. Okay, now this is one limitation I'm seeing straight away, that this Bilt Hamber one is going to fire it straight up, so potentially it's going to go on this on the glove compartment. That's what I do like about the Autoglym one, that allows you to adjust it. So by putting it in this Autoglym case, it is then directing it, okay, if you position it correctly, into the void, reducing the opportunity for it to go straight onto dash. Okay, but only the test results we'll see. We're going to go with it placed there. We're not going to use the Autoglym box, okay, but I can see that as a very simple basically adjustment to the packaging to provide that facility, and I like that. So that's where we're going to position. So I'm going to take the car outside. There's absolutely no reason to do this in the garage, even if you ventilate it. Okay, you're going to be running a car for X amount of minutes. Get your car outside if you can. Okay, so I'm going to drive the car outside, and then we're going to activate this and see what happens. Okay, final thing actually before I take the car out. For the more astute of you, I've already said open the glove compartment, so I've cracked the glove compartment and taped it up just so the gases can get in. If my glove compartment was fully down, it's going to be right in the direct flow. Where's my car mat? All I've done is I've elevated the car seat so the gas can get all around the upholstery, and I've put the car mat in the back, curled up so the gas can get under it. Okay, so I just thought I'd add that. Let's get the car outside. Okay guys, we're inside the car. Okay, I'll just read the instructions. Turn on engine, run air conditioning system for 2 minutes in recirculation mode. So I'm going to hit the recirculation mode. That's the aircon on. I've got it on fully cool, and all the vents are open. All right, so because we're trying to get this gas to circulate in through the air conditioning system, we want all the vents open. Incidentally, a top tip if you're doing this to eliminate a smell, my cabin filter is in there and I've replaced it. Okay, what you don't want to do is go through all this hard work, clean your car using some kind of aircon bomb, okay, and then the smell still emanating from your actual cabin filter. Now, things like this and the Autoglym one with the antibacterial and antiviral will sort of hopefully tackle some of the nasty stuff in your panel filter, but they're cheap as chips, they're easier to clean, give your car aircon system a fresh start and replace your cabin filter. All right, so that's essentially the setup. Aircon on, recirculation mode, fully cool, all my vents are open. I've left my engine for 2 minutes, so we'll just set the camera and then we'll crack this. Now it says shake can well and depress one shot release button, immediately place in passenger footwell, do not discharge directly on surfaces, leave for 3 minutes. So I'm going to leave this running for 3 minutes, then we'll turn off the engine and ventilate the car for 6 minutes before driving. So let's crack this open and set up the camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack the one shot. We've given it a good shake up, put it in the footwell as instructed. I'm going to pop this and then we'll close the door and off we go. So it's like a thorough shake up. Let's go for it. So as you can see, it's disseminating its load. How kinky! All right, now what with the air conditioning, that's just going to be sucking it through the air conditioning system, all the vents, sanitizing the vents, going through the cabin filter, coming out the air vents, and you can see, you can't see it in the camera, but it sort of generates circulating currents as a fine mist inside the actual side of the car. So it's going into all those cavities inside the glove compartment, into the back where we've done the seats. So it's still going. Usually takes about a minute and a half for the actual full discharge process to be completed, and then you're basically just leaving it for that bit extra, the chemical to work its way around the system and get maximum value. So I'll play some music, otherwise you're going to get bored of hearing my voice. Okay guys, that's it, brought back inside, and it's been sort of left the vent with the doors open for about 5 or 6 minutes. Just sticking my head in. It's not a really strong smell. Now there's a slight chemically smell. Okay, it is not unpleasant. It's fresh. There's a slight citrus undertone, but it's dissipating quite quick. I stuck my head in literally as I turned the engine off, and it was quite strong. So the smell isn't particularly strong and overpowering, but we're going to do all that summary bit in a minute. What I'm going to quickly do now is I'm just going to take our bits off, essentially toilet paper, so we can inspect to see if there's any liquid. Just taking it off the floor. I'll just take it over here. Okay, so let's have a look. Just put the camera down there. So that's the bit that was on the roof, bone dry. That was the bit that was on the glove compartment, right next to it. This is the bit I thought would get it, bone dry, and that's the one on the seat, bone dry. Good. Okay, so if for whatever reason the one you're using you did get any because you haven't sort of positioned it correctly, you really want to be wiping off straight away, because I have heard people say that it has sort of stained the interior of their car. But be careful, and you should have any problems like we have. So yeah, all good. Okay guys, so just a quick look on the disposal contents container to hazardous or special waste collection point. Okay, so you're going to put this in your domestic bin, that's up to you, but that's what the instructions say. Luckily I've got access to special waste and hazardous waste, so in the bin it goes for me. Okay groupers, we've come back about 24 hours later. The chemical smell pretty much gone, and there's just that sort of latent citrus fresh smell, which is what I like using the Bilt Hamber one. I will now go and put my own air freshener in the car to give me that nice smell that I'm after personally inside the car. So before I start with the final sort of wrap-up review, fully cognizant of the fact that it's quite subjective. Some people like these, some people don't. Some people have a bad experiences, some people have had good, and I encourage you all to put your constructive comments either on YouTube or Facebook to educate everyone else. This is just my experience, my testing, my opinion, okay, without any bias towards any one of these brands. Okay, so it's just an information piece. The more information we can gather, okay, it informs you guys and you can make a more sort of evidence and knowledge-based decisions to whether you want to go down this road. Okay, so we looked at the Autoglym. The most expensive one, £16 one, comes with all those good European standard credentials for antibacterial, antiviral, etc. So if I had to sort of give my sort of personal choice as to if I was looking for a sanitizer one, which is the Autoglym and the Bilt Hamber, which one I'd go for, purely based on those given credentials, I'd go for the Autoglym, putting aside the cost. Okay, in terms of the smell, in relation to the Bilt Hamber one, it's got a slightly stronger chemical smell that hangs around for a little bit longer, and the citrus smell is a bit stronger as well. So that is a consideration. But you're not buying this for the smell. You're buying this to sanitize, enhance the hygiene of your car. So that's the Autoglym one. The one that we tested was the Bilt Hamber one. This is my go-to really, and that's based on price. This is £6 cheaper. Okay, so £10. It claims to do the same in terms of bacterial and virus, etc., but doesn't have those given credentials. But I trust the brand of Bilt Hamber. Okay, there is no reason why I have to doubt those claims. And at £6 cheaper, at £10 for this product, I think it's absolutely, a good thing. The chemical smell is subtle, it's not offensive, it's not intrusive, it only lasts a few hours. Okay, like I said, I can only just sense it. Okay, that citrus sort of smell is coming through, albeit quite subtle, and no doubt that citrus smell will have gone within a day or two. But I'm not buying this for the smell, I'm buying this to sanitize my vehicle. Okay, so this would be my go-to one based on price. Just went for a coffee. Right, the smelly ones. So the first smelly one we're going to look at is the Turtle Wax ODOR-X. Okay, it's the cheap one, £6. Get it from Halfords, nice and accessible. Now, in comparison to the Meguiar's one, the scent, that new car scent, or whichever you go for, is not as strong as the Meguiar's one, and it does not last as long. That could be because of the contents or the fact that you're only getting 100 millilitres as opposed to 150 millilitres on that one. Okay, but it's a nice fresh smell, and for £6 you can't go wrong. So if you're trying to mask a smell or you just want your car smelling nice, okay, for whatever reason, you can't go wrong for this at £6. Okay, now the claim of 30 days, that's questionable. When we tested this one, into the second week, I was having to chase it. Okay, almost mental recall. Is that the smell I'm still sensing? So it wasn't particularly evident. Okay, but that depends. I use my car a lot. Okay, it depends how much you got your aircon on and all that kind of stuff, and any legacy smells in your vehicle. Okay, but for £6, you can't go wrong with that, and it's a nice smell, and it's going to last you a week plus. My go-to one, if I'm looking to actively seek and destroy smells and give me longevity and a lovely strong smell, is without doubt the Meguiar's one. I've been using their range for quite some time. So in terms of the smell, the one that I've got is the black chrome. It gives a nice new car smell. It's nice and fresh. It's nice and citrusy. This one does last weeks, okay, and I use my car a lot. So you're looking, in my experience, 2, 3, 4 weeks on this one. Okay, the amount of people that got into my car and said, "What is that lovely smell?" and I've recommended this to them. Okay, I've lost count. Okay, so in terms of if you're looking to really replace or get rid of smells and replace it with a nice long life fresh smell that you're going to enjoy, I definitely recommend the Meguiar's, and that one's around about £14. Okay, the bit that a lot of people hang around the videos to see what are my recommendations. Right, I'd use all of them, okay, and hopefully I've expressed how they fit in. In terms of sanitizing, I go for the Bilt Hamber because it's cheaper and I trust the brand. If Autoglym was down at the same price, I'd go for Autoglym because it's got that known credentials, okay, and they both smell the same, okay, and they both sort of say they do the same thing, which is good. In terms of the smell, if I'm desperate and I just want to get rid of a smell quickly, I'll go for the £6 one. But if I want something that's going to make my car, after I've cleaned it, smell for weeks, without doubt I'll spend a bit more and go on the Meguiar's. Okay, now, there's lots of other ones out there. Experiment, read the label, do your research, know what they're look through the advertising and the marketing. That's why I like the Autoglym one. Okay, it's got those known European standards, and I like Bilt Hamber because they're a reputable brand. But if you're looking at other ones, make sure you research it, okay, and try and see through the marketing and the claims, okay, and test it yourself. Okay, so I hope that helps. Any feedback or positive or negative experiences with this kind of stuff, post it on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, and we'll continue this journey of learning together.